Mr. PKD Nambiar. Mr. Nambiar, who is extremely well accomplished in public relations, and he is a regular spokesperson for the Bharatiya Janata Party. He joins us all the way from Delhi. Mr. Nambiar, thank you. Thank you.
I was told that in Bengal, left is the right. Good evening, Calcutta, and thank you so much for having me here. It's indeed a great pleasure to be amongst one of the finest minds of India sitting here. I'm one of the youngest in the group, but hence, my voice needs to be heard slightly more higher. But look at the way, on the other side there are two mics and only on this side only one mic. That is one of the basic challenges of West Bengal. My dear friends, for me, West Bengal is not just another state in the country. For me, and for the millions of Indians, West Bengal is an emotion. An emotion you and me and across millions of people in India recite every day, on every occasion, in the form of a national song and national anthem written by the two greatest minds which has given birth by this land, Rabindranath Tagore and Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. So for me, Bengal is not just a state, but an emotion. But when that emotion speaks about just the number of some figures and talk about a victimhood, that alone exposes some of the political minds which has ruled this state for the last 50, 60 years. When I was invited for this program and when Mr. Kunal Sarkar told me about the topic, I was a bit amused. One, Bengal is a victim. Second is the failed federalism. Imagine, isn't it a question or is it a statement? To me, it sounded like a statement, and I'm sure most of you. So my humble request to you that, sir, don't make that kind of a statement, at least when you have a topic of discussion, because I beg to differ in both the states that Bengal is neither a victim nor the federalism in India has ever failed and will ever fail. Because we are a vibrant democracy which stood almost 75 years, a vivid nation with one of the youngest population in the world. So I beg to differ for the topic of today's discussion. Now look at the Bengal. I am from Kerala, born and brought up in Kerala in the communist bastion called as Kannur. All those who knows about the name Kannur itself will be told that it is another West Bengal in a way. In every possible way. But then I never heard of this West Bengal who is crying that this number of figures which he was explaining as if that the statement of accounts, a state which was striving as one of the largest economy in as the most economically advanced state in the 1960s until early 70s. A large amount of corporate and multinational companies were having its headquarters, not only their Indian headquarters, but their South Asian headquarters in this very land. Ask yourself why all those people, all those corporate houses, why all those industries had to leave this particular place. I think every Bengali needs to answer to themselves. Put your hands on your chest and ask yourself, one of the most patriotic people in this country, one of the most natural resources is there in this land of Bengal. Why it is from one of the most successful state came to the state of a poor state, wanted to stand more of like with a begging ball, or crying, or trying to play the victimhood. This is where the primary thing, not just the data which may suits you. Not the data which suits you is not the problem. The problem is that the incapability, only for the political purposes, a political leadership for the last 60 years have ruined the state which was always prosperous. This is the land of Vivekananda. This is the land of Subhash Chandra Bose. This is the land where the cultural renaissance had happened. Imagine why Britishers have chosen to made this land as the capital. Because it was the most prosperous place. It had one of the oldest port in this country. But let me ask you this, over the last 60 years, my dear friend, how many more ports you have made? The first aluminium plant was founded in this very West Bengal. How about in the second 5-year plan when Nehru, which I don't agree with any of his policies, but in the second 5-year plan, almost 75% or 1/3 of the entire industrialization budget was thrown to this particular land. The Durgapur, Kalyani, and many other industrial hubs were made. The 2 steel plants. It was the pharma capital, pharma manufacturing hub. The chemical factories were here. Where are all these gone? Why don't you answer that? How much money have you been able to forget about the Gujrat, when the Tamil Nadu, when Karnataka, the South Indian states were, the people were queuing up there, the multinational companies and the corporates to invest in those lands. What happened to this land where the Ganga is just merging into the sea? What happened? Because you wanted to have the power. And to get into the power, you killed thousands of political killings. And that is where you made the mistake. Don't cry. The time has come for the youth of the Bengal to get up. As I said, I am from Kerala. When I see the old CPIM local leaders, there is a comic says in my place, the old CPIM leaders of the local committee secretary, branch secretaries are now making parotas in the roadside vendors in Kerala or in Delhi or in those places. Why? It has got everything here. But I think that is where the mistake had happened. Do you know the very fact that the first cess, special economic zone, was created in this very land in the country? How many more cess Mamta Didi has created? How many more cess the Jyoti Basu or the left parties over the 35 years could create in this particular land? None. Because they were only busy in making comfort zone for their own political power. Do you know the very fact when the Birlas and the Ispats and most of the corporates have vanished from this particular place? Raton raat apna bori bistre uthakar chala gaya tha. Kyun chale gaye the? Because the left parties and the political forces here made, this may be the only land where Gheravo has made as a state policy that it has been allowed the people, the police, even to just be a bystander to look at and treated every businessman as a class different and a class enemy. That is where the mistake has done. I can only request you, look within yourself, look at the mirror. Every mirror will tell you, every time when you look at yourself, you will be telling you that your political leadership has failed the people of West Bengal. And that is where the people, the today's generation needs to rise up and look at their other, and my friend was talking about the cooperative federalism. If cooperative federalism and now competitive federalism is the word. Compete with Tamil Nadu, show your power. Compete with Karnataka, show your power. Compete with, if you don't have if the political leadership here do not have the power to compete with Gujarat, leave it. How about Maharashtra? Compete with them. Get the investment here. Don't cry. Look at yourself. And I can only say, West Bengal is the pride of the nation. And I feel that this state has the best potential to become once again the superpower amongst all the states, and federalism will be here, and cooperative federalism, India as a country will be there, a strong force. That is what is my first take. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Nambiar. In the year 2004, Bengal made a very lasting contribution to the Oxford English Dictionary when the word gherao was incorporated in the Oxford English Dictionary in the lexicon of English words. So that is how significant our path to self-destruction was to some extent. PKD, quick, your 3 minutes.
इतना गर्मी कम से कम डेवलपमेंट में दे लिया होता, बंगाल और कहीं पे पहुंच गया होता और कंपैरिजन करके टाइम वेस्ट करने की जरूरत नहीं होता. ये जो गर्मी है पार्लियामेंट के अंदर वो भाषण देने में लगाने की जगह अपने कुर्सी पे बैठकर जनता के बारे में सोचो, यू थिंक अबाउट द पीपल एंड डिलीवर व्हाट यू हैव प्रॉमिस्ड इंस्टेड ऑफ किलिंग द पीपल. Let me ask the very few fundamental questions, and that should be the takeaway of this debate today. Why the political killings have not been going over? Bengal has taken a decision to leave the left into the Bengal Ocean. We have elected a new government in the name of Mamata Banerjee. In fact, I used to be a very great fan of her when she was the Youth Congress president. As a kid, I used to really like her combative spirit. But is that combative spirit only to combat, but not to deliver the result? But despite the left rule in which she combated and came into power, why so many people have been brutally killed? Why so many people after the election had to leave the state and go to the Assam? Question. Number two, even though West Bengal had all advantages of being as I said earlier, being the first commercial capital of India, the first IT park, why Bengalis have to go to Bangalore or Hyderabad or in the south of India to do the software job when the first IT park was happened in this particular very state? I think that these needs to be answered. Then I also ask you this question, sir, rather than what is the right size of your economy today? What is the kind of plan you have to make this state to a vibrant, progressive state? What is the plan for you to make the #1 state, West Bengal as the #1 state in the country? What is the way you are going to get, rather than making a tamasha of a vibrant or some kind of an investor summit? Tell me, in the last 7-8 years, the number of investor summit you have done, how many manufacturing plants have come up? Why Foxconn or the China, the people wanted to leave the China and come to India when the Foxconn is building its semiconductor plant? Why are they not even looking at you even in one option? Look at yourself. I think the change of political mindset, I am not saying that you need to change the government. I am saying that this government has the power. This government, if they have the right will, without complaining, work for the people. Why Ayushman Bharat? You are talking about the whole federalism. When the Ayushman Bharat was introduced and all the states have wholeheartedly, openly accepted it and implemented it, why the people of Bengal not been given the benefit of Ayushman Bharat? I think you don't love the people of Bengal. What you love is to complain and the agitative, that combative idea to practice so that you can remain in power forever. I think the time has come
PKD,
to be a competitive federalism, be the best, and to be the best, you have to start acting today. Jai Hind.
Thank you.